credit card bill was $7,200, right? Actually, it was $7,200.06, okay? So I'm looking at this bill going, oh man, I don't want to pay interest on $7,200. So I came up with a plan and I scraped the money together so that I was able to pay this bill. But this was back in the days when you wrote paper checks. There was no online banking. So I write this check out. And I write the check out and I write it out for $7,200.06. Well, I got kind of sloppy in my writing and my 6 ended up looking like a 0. So they cashed the check for $7,200 even. And they mailed the checks back to you in those days. So I got the check back and I looked at it and I saw that they'd cashed it for $7,200 even. But I didn't worry about it. I was 6 cents short. Who cares? What are they going to do, charge me a penny in interest? I got my next month's statement in the mail and they had charged me almost $200 in interest and finance charges. And I was shocked. And I called them up on the phone and said, how in the world can you charge me almost $200 in interest and penalties on a balance of 6 cents? And she said, you don't understand how credit cards work. I said, explain it to me then. She said, when you sign the terms and conditions, it said in there that if you don't pay your balance in full, we don't care. We don't care if you owe us $7,200 or if you only owe us 6 cents. You didn't keep up your end of the deal. And if you don't keep up your end of the deal, we go back in time. This was the part I didn't understand. They go back to the beginning of the billing period and they charge you interest on every purchase and any outstanding balance from the beginning of the billing period till the end. So she's looking at my account and she says, you know, I can see you charged a $1,000 plane ticket on the first day of the month. We charged you 20% interest on that plane ticket from the first of the month to the last of the month. I said, lady, I sent you $7,200. Take $1,000 and pay off the plane ticket. She said, I will not. That's not how credit cards work. That's not how revolving credit works. That's why if you make the decision that you need something, all right? Let's say the next generation of iPad comes out and you just have to have it. You need it, but you don't have any money. So you then make the giant leap that you're going to put it on credit. So you take the iPad, it's $500, say. You get a $500 charge on the credit card. You have your iPad. You're very cool. Everything's great until 30 days later when you get a letter in the mail from the credit card company that says, balance due, $500. Okay, you didn't have $500 30 days ago. Chances are you're not going to have it now. What are you going to do? Well, there's going to be another box on there that's going to say, minimum payment due, $10. You're going to go, yeah, $10. That's what I'm talking about. I can afford $10. So you write them a check for $10, right? They get your check. They get your $10 check. And they smile the biggest smile they could ever smile because they just made more money off of you than if you'd have sent them the full $500. Actually, if you'd have sent them the full $500, they wouldn't have made any money off of you. But at 18% interest, that comes to about $7.50 on a $500 balance. So $7.50, you know where that goes? That's their money. It's gone. All right? So you owed them $500, you send them 10, they take a $7.50 cut, they apply your $250, and the next month you get another statement in the mail. And it says, balance due, $497.50. You're like, man, I thought I sent them $10. Well, anyway, still don't have the money. What the heck? Minimum payment due, $10. Write them another check for $10. They get your check. They smile again. They take their $7.50. The next month, you get another statement in the mail. Balance due, $495. You're like, wait a minute. I think I've sent them $20, and I still owe them $495. If you keep this up, if you keep making only the minimum payment at an interest rate of 20% on a $500 purchase, that iPad, that $500 iPad is going to end up costing you over $1,100. Now, it's not a good financial move to pay more than twice what something is worth. But you want to know what bothers me even more than that? You know how long it'll take you to pay it off? 9 years. you'll be paying for that iPad, that $500 purchase, for 9 years. Okay? The iPad will be in a dumpster, and you'll still be sending them a minimum payment due of $10. All right? Credit cards in and of themselves are not evil, but they are one of the single riskiest financial vehicles that you can have in your possession. Be careful, okay? Number 4. Number 4 is called They Are Watching. It's kind of the spooky part. They're watching. They know who you are. They know what your Social Security number is. They know how much money you have in the bank. They know how you manage that money. They know everything about you. It's all legal. They are the credit bureaus. Actually, what they're doing is scoring you. It's called a credit score, a FICO score. And typically that score is between 350 and 850. And the higher your score is, the more willing people are going to be to loan you money later in life. The lower your score, the worse terms they're going to give you, and if your score gets too low, then they are going to refuse to loan you the money. This hit me in the face a few years ago. I had this impression when I went to college that college was sort of this bubble, and while you were inside that bubble, everything was okay. All right, kind of what happens in college stays in college, right? I was wrong. Here's what happened. I met this girl, and this girl and I kind of hit it off, and we decided to get married. And once you hit that point in your life, one of the first things you do is go, where are we going to live? And so we went and bought a house, or looked at houses and made an offer on a house, and they accepted our offer. You know, this is storybook stuff. So here we go, and everything is just perfect till we get to the bank. The banker guy's all excited and happy to see us. We're going to get this loan. This is what it's all about. Right up until the point where the banker dude got up and walked to the back. And he came back with this completely different look on his face. And he looked at me straight in the eye and said, Mr. Burnett, we're not going to be able to loan you the money to buy that house. You have bad credit. And I was shocked. And I looked at him and I said, what are you talking about? And he said to me 6 years ago, well, when he said that, I kind of knew what he was talking about. He said, 6 years ago, you were late on an electric bill payment for over 120 days. And you were late on a student loan payment. And it was all true. I mean, the electric bill payment, I can explain it. It was, there was 4 of us living in the house, and the summer came, and the electricity happened to be in my name because, I had a free period, so I went and put it in my name. But then we all had stuff going on that summer, so we weren't very responsible. We just left, and I forgot to get the electricity changed out of my name, so all summer long the bill's coming to me, and I'm not there to pay it. They reported it on my credit. All right? Student loan thing, I was consolidating my student loans, and they tell you got to keep your payments up. Well, I was thinking, surely they're a little flexible with that, so I didn't keep current with my payments. And they reported me to the credit bureau. And I looked at that banker guy, and I said, is there anything I can do? And he said, well, there is an appeal process. And I wrote this long appeal, and it was accepted. And my wife and I were able to buy that house. And I tell you what, that changed our lives, because we went in and we fixed up that house. And I got a better job 6 months later, and we sold that house that we'd bought 6 months earlier for $10,000 more than we had made. My wife and I were poor. I mean, this wedding ring cost $75, and hers cost $45, I think, which never heard the end of. But anyway, so we were able to buy that house, and we figured out that we could flip houses, that we had a talent at it. But had we put our heads down, walked out of that bank, and just gone back to renting, it never would have happened. If you take a hit on your credit, a hit means that you go more than a certain number of days late on a payment, you go into collections, you go into default, then your score will drop, and that will stay on your credit report, your record, for 7 years. For 7 years, you're going to have to explain to somebody why you couldn't manage your money. Be careful, okay? Protect your credit score. There will be a point in life when it will be important to you. Number 5. Number 5 is, if it sounds too good to be true, what? It probably is. College students are targets for people running scams. Part of it is because college students are still at a point in their lives when they want to believe. They want to believe that somebody's telling you the truth. But if somebody is yelling at you on the TV at 3 o'clock in the morning going, just send me your money and I'll teach you how to get rich in real estate, it's a scam, okay? The only person getting rich is the guy you're sending your money to. You want to get rich in real estate? Buy low, sell high. There, no cost, no charge. Make $50,000 a year stuffing envelopes. It's not true. You're not going to make $50,000 a year stuffing envelopes, or all the people out there making less than $50,000 a year would go stuff envelopes. All right? If it sounds too good to be true, it is. All right? Now, I've got a long story that I won't get into as much detail with about this situation, but I want to bring it up just because I think it's important because of the way things have changed in society so dramatically over the last few years. And that is this. If you gamble long enough, you will lose, okay? The odds are not in your favor. They're in the favor of the house. And I used to gamble. And I used to gamble a lot. And some things happened to me with my gambling to where I woke up one day and went, you know what? I can't win. The odds are against me, and I'm not smart enough to figure out every time which horse is going to come in first. If you gamble long enough, you will lose. I hope you don't gamble. But if you do, you got to promise me that at least you'll gamble from your financial plan. You put it in the plan over here. You say, I got $50 for entertainment, if that's what you want to call it. And when that $50 is gone, you quit. You stop. You walk away. And if you do that, then you'll never get in trouble. The problem is when you get like I got, where I thought, I'm down 50, all I got to do is double down and I'm back. Hell, you double down and you lose and you're just in twice as big a hole. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Work hard, earn your money, grow your business, make things happen for yourself. Don't look for get rich quick, okay? Number 6, appearances can be deceiving. One of the things that's going to happen to you right after you graduate is you're going to be excited, and deservedly so, because you worked hard to get this college degree, and you're going to get your first job, and you're going to have revenue for the first time in your life, income, okay? Be careful when that point happens to you. What happened to me was I went through my needs. My first job was $24,000 a year at Youngstown State University. So I did this. I did a budget, $2,000 a month, right? And I had to buy a car, which was $400 a month. I got an apartment for $600 a month. I knew my bills were going to be about $200 a month. I went and bought furniture, on credit, by the way, that cost $200 a month, and then my student loan payment was $200 a month. So that was my plan. I had $2,000 coming in income, and I had $1,600 going out in bills. I thought, okay, I'm good. I got $400 left that I can use to put towards gas and spending and incidental expenses. But I messed up on my plan because when I got my first paycheck, it was for $1,600. They had taken out federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, retirement benefits. I'm 20-some years old. They're taking retirement benefits out of my check. Give me a break. They didn't even ask me. They just took it. All right? So at the first of the month, I've got $1,600. My bills come in. I pay off all my bills. I'm broke. It's the second day of the month. All right? When that happens to you, you're what's called upside down. When you get upside down, that means you have more money going out than you have coming in. You've got to fix it. There's only 2 ways to fix it. You either, what? Bring in more income to get it back in balance, take a second job, do what you got to do, or the one that's probably most practical, you cut expenses. I shouldn't have bought a new car. I should have bought a used car. I did not need a $600 a month apartment. But I was excited. I had my first job, and I wanted all these things right now. When you get your first paycheck, when they offer you, they're going to say, we will offer you this salary. That salary's the gross. You need to take that number times about 65 to 70%. That's the net. And then that's what you do your financial plan to. Okay? All right, 7, 8, and 9 all go together. The first one, number 7, is called the most important bill you need to pay is yourself. This is the one thing I wish that somebody would have taught me when I was first starting college. The most important bill you need to pay is yourself. You need to get in the habit to anytime you make money, and I mean $1. Anytime you make money, you take a portion of that money and you put it away. You save it. Let's say it's 10%. So So you make $1, you put away a dime. You make $10, you put away $1. And you get into the habit of doing that for your entire life. What you'll find is your lifestyle does not change one bit living off 90% of your money than it does 100. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. If you never see it, if you have it taken right out, you will not notice any difference in your lifestyle. Did you know that every one of you sitting in this room has going for you the single greatest factor in the creation of wealth? Did you know that? And I don't care, who your mommy and daddy is. I don't care how much money you have in your bank account. I don't care if you drive a fancy car. I don't care about any of that stuff. Everybody sitting in this room has going for you the single greatest factor in the creation of wealth. You know what it is? It's time. It's the fact that you're young. The fact that you're young puts you in a position to create tremendous amounts of wealth. It's called the Rule of 72. And the Rule of 72 is this. You take money. You then put that money somewhere where it's earning interest. You then take the amount of interest being earned and you divide it into the number 72. I like to use 10% because it's easier for me to do the math. So if your money's earning 10%, that means that every 7.2 years, your money's going to double. Ever do the little math game where you double the number, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 120. The next thing you know, you got a really big number on your hands? That's what this is all about. It's called the miracle of compounding interest. Let's say, for example, you remember. You remember this session, and you say, the minute I get out of school, I'm going to start saving $400 a month at, let's say, age 24. And so you start putting $400 in the bank, and you never raise it. And your careers are going to be wonderful. You're going to make a whole lot more money than when you first get out of college. But let's just say, we remembered what Brad said, so we put away $400 a month. What the heck? All right? You don't even check on it. All these years go by, and you turn 60, and you start thinking about retirement. You think, gosh, what am I going to retire on? And you remember about this account that you just put $400 in over all these years between the age 24 and 60. That's only what? $400 a month? That's only $4,800 a year. You're putting $4,800 a year away. Oh, I wonder what it could have added up to by now. You look in that account, and in that account, if that account was earning 8% interest, which is doable, there will be over $1 million in that account. Okay? It's called Get Rich Slow. And it really does work. You take money, you invest that money into whatever investment vehicle that has the amount of risk that you can tolerate, and then you start as young as you can, and you give yourself enough flips to where the miracle of compounding interest can take effect, and you can become incredibly wealthy. Okay? That is the 9 things every college student should know about money, and remember, you can never say now, nobody ever told me.